The story from the project, innocent black man. Let me be clear. Damn, man. The story from the project, innocent black man.
What up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Small Account Challenge. Today is day number 119, and I'm only saying that because we did trade yesterday, but I didn't have time to do the video. It was actually a good day. We actually went down about $150 early on, brought it all back. We was up 200, and of course, you know, gave it all right back. We was down about $200 on the day. Like I said, it's going to be some bigger wins and bigger losses now, so it is to come with the game, and I'm okay with that. Of course, you know, Trump paused the tariffs yesterday, so the market took a quick run up. It ran up pretty heavy, so I think that's manipulation big time. I don't like that kind of stuff. Anyway, we was able to get back in the market today. We was able to pull out a green day, and I'm going to tell you exactly how we pulled it off. And today, midday, market recap. All right, y'all, let's go over the trades from this morning. Today, I kept it pretty simple, trying to keep the account above 2,000. So, we had to keep it simple. Only traded 5 trades, and we won on every last one except for one. So anyway, and I took my time today. Very calm today. Like I said, I traded pretty well today. I will say that for myself. All right. First trade today was at 944 to the upside on SPY. 944. Let's pull the charts up. All right, cool. Of course, you know, in the pre-market, SPY was back down after that quick spike up yesterday. It was back down about 14, 15 points in the early on in the morning. And at 944, which is our first trade. Okay, cool. The candle that closes at 940 was a red candle. We jumped in the next one at 944 as it came to a key level. I jumped in at the key level for it to hit the key level and go back up. And that's exactly what it did as it closed at 945. It bounced off that key level, and I held for the entire candle all the way back up to the moving average. Then got out. Like I said, I was letting the trade work. The guardrails were sitting where they was. And once it got into, I think, 10 or 15% gain, I moved it up because it wasn't really pushing. So once I see the gain, I move it up to 10, 15% and take it when they come back down, if it do come back down. All right, cool. That's the first trade. The next trade was at 10:07. As you can see, the trades are kind of spaced out because I'm waiting for the best entry. Like I told you before, if I'm gonna hold these trades longer, go for bigger wins, I gotta wait for the best entries. And sitting these drawdowns, gotta get the best entries. All right, cool. 10:07 to the downside. We won on this one. All right, cool. The candle that closes at 10 o'clock was a red candle coming down to the moving average. All right, on the very next candle, the one that closes at 10:05, I'm asking myself, if this breaks through the moving, the 200, I may consider it, but it got to close under the 200. It did not. I said, all right, cool. Let's watch the next candle. The very next candle, same thing. It pops up to try to go the other direction, but it begins to come back down. That lets me know there's not enough buyers in this bad boy. The bid is still in control, so I jumped in at 10:07. I hold all the way to this bad boy closes at 10:10. We're still in control. On the very next candle, it breaks through the 200. I'm holding, and I get out at 10:13 on the guardrail. Like I said, I moved it up once it got into that 10% range. That's it. No need to keep holding. Like I said, I want to hold longer, but when I see it's kind of stolen, and I already got 10%, I'm moving on up, and it got 2 choices now. Either pop me out with my 10% or keep running, and we just keep running with you. All right, cool. The next trade we lost on, this one was to the upside at 10:23. So this is 10 minutes later to the upside. We lost on this one. All right, cool. The candle that closes at 10:20 was I would say like a upside down hammer. Like I said, it sat on the 200, got it pushed up, came back down. So it was at that particular moment, it didn't want to go through the 200. So I ran this one to the upside. Okay, cool. On the very next candle, I'm not sure how we lost on this one. I think because of the iffiness, I wasn't going to take no chances on this breaking the other direction. So, boom, at 10:23, we jumped in, and it ultimately goes in our favor. But on this lower wick, I didn't like it because, like I said, we were trending down earlier, and we already had closed up under the 200. So I'm like, you know what, Mike? Like I said, it's all right. Take the loss. It's a small loss. We can always find a better entry on the next one. That was not an ideal entry for that one. So we lost on that one. All right, cool. The next one at 10:31. This one was our biggest trade of the day. No, our second to biggest trade of the day where we started really rocking. This one was to the upside, 10:31. So the candle that closes, opens up 10:20, closes at 10:25. The one that we got out of, green, ran up against us, closes at 10:25. The very next candle is a red candle at 10:30. I wanted this to the upside. I was absolutely right. What I wanted to happen was this. It came back down to the 200. I wanted the bounce. I waited until the candle closed and bounced off the 200. Like I said, I got to get the best entries. No more trying to guess or ride momentum like I usually do. I'm going to still do that, but after I got resolution. But the first entry got to be on a confluence entry. So it hit the 200, it closed, it started bouncing. I jumped in at 10:31 on this candle right here. All right, we riding up. I add at 10:32. Cool. Now we got two contracts. I sell one at 10:34, still going up. I sell the next one at 10:35. All right, cool. Right as the candle closed. So now, like I said, we 3 for 1 on the day. So we sitting pretty nicely on the day with our account right now. And like I said, I'm taking my time, taking my entries, and I'm taking good trades. My emotions are non-existent. Everything is based off the data. I'm not worried about what's going on, Trump tariffs and everything else. I'm making my entries based off the data. That way, I'm in control. Anyway, last trade of the day to the downside, 10:38. All right, now the candle that opens up 10:30, closed 10:35. The one we got out of, we won on that one. Now I'm waiting for the next entry, the very next one. Because that the one we got out of ran and hit the moving average, I saw it begin to reverse. I said, okay, like it may reverse, but we're going to take a small entry. At 10:38 on this candle, right before it closed, 10:30, we jumped into the downside. It closes. We're in the green. I'm like, all right, cool. We're going to watch this. We're sitting on the key level, though. So I said, if we break through, we can add again. It gets to the key level. I add at 10:39. It breaks through the key level. The candle, it breaks through the key level. This candle is going to close at 10:45. I'm still in it. I add again at 10:43. I'm like, all right, cool. This is good. This is good. It's still going down. We sell one at 10:44. The candle closed at 10:45. We sell another at 10:45. We got one contract left. And on the next candle, that bad boy flushes. So we letting it ride. And we sell that one at 10:47. I really, really like the way I traded today. And I was trying to do that yesterday. That's how we ended up losing after we gained all our money back. I was trying to sell, trim my position versus selling the whole thing to see what was going on, what the price action was going to do. Today, I was able to figure it out. Like I said, after I got my ads in, I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to leave the guardrail because that was my issue at one time. I was like, the guardrails don't get me out like I want them to. So now I let them take me one at a time, and I'm moving on each one as I need to move it. So it is what it is. That's how we finished the day. You can see it there. Bang. Another green day. Anyway, we'll be back at this tomorrow. Hopefully, like I said, we can find another green day. Hopefully, you guys are still doing well. I did see the comments. I'm glad you're following the journey. And this is how we doing it. Keep it up, brother. Anyway, anybody else, I'm glad you joined as well. I'm glad you had a green day too. The one who talked about jumping into the VIX back and forth. Way to go, brother. Anyway, anybody else, keep on going. See you guys tomorrow. All right, y'all. Peace.